Welcome to Disaster Party Podcast. As always, this is Rob Sedano, joined by my co-host.
Oh, daddy, it's your boy Andy Vivians. It's Bivians, where I am the one true daddy of Vivian's I-N-C. And a birdie told me the rhyming ain't done because tonight we're on episode 51. Whoa, daddy.
And coming back as the honorary third member of the Disaster Party Podcast, we got B Rent back with us today.
What's up, guys?
The draw.
Yeah, the draw is back.
The
Although
draw
I don't know,
is
I
back.
haven't been drawing in the ratings as much as the past couple episodes, so maybe people are getting sick of me.
Never. Never.
Well, today's topic is definitely going to be more toward the wrestling fans. We're going to do a review of last night's AEW pay-per-view, Full Gear. But before we do that, there's a lot in the news this week, so why don't we touch on that? I could start with, Bitcoin Rob stuff real quick. I don't know if you saw, but Bitcoin hit $69,000, baby.
Ooh, say it again.
69,000. You know what I'm waiting for? 69,420.
Ooh.
That just shows my age, guys. I'm being stupid. But yeah, Bitcoin upgrade came up today. It upgraded, so now it's gonna make the transactions a little bit more private and speedier, which is also going to allow it to be a little bit cheaper to transact. So that's a good thing.
I'm excited. Just keep going up.
98,000. I'm calling it end of month.
To the moon.
To the moon, baby. All right, Andy. What do you got for our pop culture stuff?
Some pop culture. For our Fortnite fans, looks like the Star Wars icon Boba Fett is coming over to the item shop as one of the outfits that you can purchase in December. Boba Fett is everywhere now.
And Jean Grey, you saw that one?
Yeah, that's going to be dope.
That is going to be
dope. I mean, I've never been able to play, but it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I've never even tried Fortnite. I know it's like one of those, like you said, pop culture super hype thing, but I don't even know what it is, honestly. I know it's a video game, but I don't know how it works.
It's free.
I've tried to get a handle of it, and I just couldn't.
What I mean, though, is what is actually the object of the game? I don't even know.
It's a battle royale, so it's like 100 people go in, you jump in, and you just kind of go until there's one person left.
Survive.
So you're trying to kill other characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of new games now have taken that concept and kind of just added it to their game and called it something different. Like
Apex Legends is like that. There's a lot of games that are like that now. But I actually, funny thing is, I started Fortnite before they had the Battle Royale feature.
Oh, really?
Yeah, before they had the Battle Royale feature, it was a $60 game that was a zombie tower defense game.
Oh, that's cool.
So basically, each level, you had to go around and collect materials, and then there would be a point that you would have to build a base around something that you have to protect, and then put traps, so then once the zombies start coming at you, you can stop the zombies with weapons, but you can also stop the zombies with traps and stuff. And then there's a time limit until, the defense is over.
I'd rather play that.
Oh yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Did you see that there is a animated original series coming to Disney Plus for I Am Groot?
I did. But is that really the name of the show, or because that's what Groot says, he could be like, "Fuck you guys," and then that could be
pretty
the
much. Watch my shit.
I am Groot.
Exactly. What is the context of his tone here?
I don't know. I guess it all depends on the episode.
That's true. Did you see they are bringing back X-Men, the cartoon show, but they're naming it X-Men 97 with the same theme, the same artwork, I believe some of the same actors, voice actors, and it's going to legitimately start from where the X-Men series ended.
That's got me hyped. I loved
Yeah,
that show as a kid. That I wasn't like a comic reader growing up, so everything I know about X-Men was from that show
dude, that
and the
show
I'm
was
video
so good.
excited, but I'm scared because we all love the original X-Men. And 9 times out of 10, when you recreate something and or add on to it, it's not as good as what we remember.
That's
I
true. For some reason, I have a good feeling about this one. Though. I think because they actually are gonna like pick it up right where it left off, rather than trying to like do a whole new thing where they're like doing another reboot or whatever. So we'll see how it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I actually just started rewatching it the other day because I was like, because Banks has always wanted to watch like superheroes now, and I don't think it held up. It holds up as much as like the hype that I remembered as a kid. Because I watched a couple of the first episodes and I'm like, "Ooh, okay, this is." I could see why I really liked this as a kid, but it was a little rough.
It's campy. It's
Yeah,
very
super campy. Yeah,
campy.
I remember when like for when I first got Netflix, well, I didn't actually have it. You actually let me borrow your password. I don't know if you remember Rob back in the day, and it was on Netflix back then. This was like 2012, and that was the first thing I noticed. And I was like, oh shit, and I started watching it, but then they took it off before I got to finish it. But and I know it's on Disney Plus now, but I haven't gotten a chance to really go back. But I might watch it again now that then the new one's going to come out.
nice.
I did the same thing with Hulk, the animated series. I went back and started watching all of them. And it's
I
the
The
never
same
really
thing.
got
It's very campy.
I never really got into any of the other animated series. Like I kind of want to watch some of the Spider-Man ones. I see they're on Disney Plus, but there's like 10 different ones. So I'm like, I don't know where to
yeah,
start.
Oh
I didn't
yeah.
watch them in order or whatever, but like now they're coming out with a new one of those too, right? With the freshman year or whatever.
yeah. Like we can
Yeah.
jump into that. So the X-Men or the Spider-Man freshman year is going to follow Tom Holland's Spider-Man while he's in high school before he becomes Spider-Man, or
So it's like a
it's like a
animated show
prequel.
that's a prequel to the first to Homecoming, I guess, right?
Yeah, and then apparently it's gonna have parts of him after he got his powers, but they're gonna kind of go more into because you got to think about Homecoming just starts and he pretty much has his powers already. Like they didn't
Yeah.
really go into the origin story, so I think they're gonna go into the origin story and show him like when he first got his powers, discovering how it works and stuff.
I kind of liked that they did that though, and well, obviously he like had an appearance in Civil War also. That was kind of his first thing, but that wasn't even really an origin story either. But they already did the origin story twice with Toby and Andrew. So like, I feel like we didn't need to do that again with like seeing Uncle Ben die. Like we get it, we know how it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
exactly.
They gotta bring back Macho Man now. I got you for
Ah,
three
right here,
minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
Bonesaw.
Yeah.
Bonesaw is ready.
But did you
Speaking
guys
of
see
those,
the? I was gonna say, did you see the trailers of the other ones?
I saw the screenshots for Miss Marvel and She-Hulk and Moon Knight.
There's like a thing on Disney Plus that shows um basically what's already happened in the MCU television shows, and then it's like mini trailers for some of them, but they described them all. So like they talk about X-Men, Echo, Spider-Man, but then they showed like clips of She-Hulk, clips of Miss Marvel, clips of Moon Knight, clips of What If, and then they showed Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Cage in a clip of Secret Invasion.
I'm
You
excited.
said Nick Cage. I think you meant Nick Fury.
Oh, Nick Fury, yeah, sorry,
It
wrestling.
would be cool if Samuel L. Jackson played Nicolas Cage in a movie, though. That'd be interesting.
Well, is it Nick Cage, the GCW wrestler, or Nicolas Cage,
No,
the
that's Nick
actor?
Gage.
Oh, Nick, see, there's too
Like,
many. There's too many.
Multiverse of gauges.
Yeah, too many. And then they also showed like a teaser of Obi-Wan series. Did you
Oh,
Yeah, so that was pretty cool, and it was like Ewan, right? Isn't it Ewan McGregor? Uh,
I was gonna ask, is he playing the character again? Because
Yeah.
he's
yeah.
supposed to be a younger. Well, I guess he is the younger version, but he doesn't look that young these days.
Well, it's supposed to take place after episode 3, before episode 4.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
gonna take place like when Luke is a baby, and they explain that it's gonna be his story of when he was watching over Luke as a baby growing up till like the point that he grows up. And
Well, at some point he
yeah.
gives them to that other family, right?
Well, yeah, that's the point. Like once he gives Luke to the other family, because you're not like in episode 4, they talk about old man Ben or whatever, old man Kenobi, and he's always like kind of watching from afar. So it's gonna
Yeah.
basically show from episode 3 to how they got to the beginning of episode 4.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Was
Which
there a because I saw it on the list as well, but was there any clips or any pictures for Marvel Zombies?
no, but I'm excited for that
I'm very excited for that.
because they can go anywhere with that. Like again, I have a bunch of the Marvel Zombie books, and each story is like a different dimension on how the zombies got created and what heroes are living in certain dimensions and stuff. So it's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
So you're gonna get
So
like almost like Walking Dead, but with Marvel heroes.
I'm not really
Yes.
familiar with it because, like I said, I'm not really a comic guy. So is that just like a whole separate universe where some of the Marvel characters are zombies?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
You
They did an episode of What If dealing with it too, right? I still haven't watched What If yet. I got to get on that.
okay, yeah.
Oh, that's
The
a
What
great
If
episode.
episode was really good. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to. They're about an hour long each. Those episodes. Or
Yeah, give or
40
take.
Um,
35 to
some.
50. Some of them are
Give me stuff
longer.
to watch, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I was just talking about this too with Guap that PlayStation 5 came out and there's never been an exclusive. It was all like, cross platforms that you can play and stuff. But now, like, as it's turning a year old, apparently Sony says that there's 25 exclusive games coming to PS5.
Took them
So
long
I
enough.
thought the
it's about time.
Spider-Man game was exclusive, the Miles Morales
No, because they could play it on
PC.
yeah.
Because
Oh,
yeah, you
okay.
definitely can't play that on.
Yeah, no, you can't do it on
Xbox.
Xbox.
No.
But I thought the Spider-Man game was the Spider-Man game for PS4, just a new version with Miles Morales. Miles Morales.
No, it was it's a completely different game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I think it came out for PS4, but then like PS5 had it too. But like PS5 hasn't had like any just PS5 exclusive
Oh, I
games.
see what you're saying. So you're saying that you're counting if it comes out also for PS4, it's not a PS5 exclusive. Is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. Because like remember when Xbox came out and they had what is it called? Dead Rising? And Dead Rising was exclusive to the new Xbox that came out.
Oh,
And
yeah,
It
yeah.
didn't come out on 360. It didn't come out for any other ones. Like PlayStation, like they had like a lot of stuff come out for like PS4, but also exclusive to PS5. But then again, I mean, technically you could say it was exclusive because both games look different, like completely different. Even like Spider-Man when they rechanged it and looks absolutely terrible.
Do you see?
Slightly off topic here, but it does have to do with exclusive. Has you ever played Sunset Overdrive?
Yes, I love that game.
Yes. Such a great
I like that game too. I bought it recently, even though I know it's an older game, but I was just it was like on sale, so I didn't really know much about it, but it looked cool, so I bought it. I haven't gotten that far into it, but I saw something the other day that like Sony registered a trademark for it or something, and people were kind of freaking out about it because it was like an Xbox exclusive, but now they're saying it might either they're going to do like a remaster for PlayStation or maybe a sequel even.
Oh.
It's on Game Pass, so you waste money, bro.
Well, that was before I had Game Pass.
Ah, it's so fun though. I really really enjoyed that game. I bought that when it first came out. I played the shit out
It
of
was a
that
great
game.
game.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I got a question for you because I know you have it because I watched you play a little bit. Or well, I watched Brent play a little bit. But is the bugs for the GTA, as everybody is complaining about, like, is it that bad?
I was actually gonna say that was gonna be the next thing. Yeah. Apparently, the GTA re-release has not been going over that well.
No, I just downloaded it too. I didn't play it yet. I was playing at your house last night, but
I don't know if it's
it
like
was
for
working fine when I was
all.
playing it. But I only played it for like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah. There's a bunch of cheat codes if you want. I found
Yeah, I was actually gonna look those up because that was the only way I beat the first one.
them.
They have they said they took a lot of stuff out because like the Unreal Engine couldn't handle it. So like to save the game from being glitchy, they like took a bunch of stuff out. But it was like a bunch of stuff people were looking forward to.
That's weird though. If that's a game that came out a long time ago for PlayStation 2, and you're saying the freaking current gen systems can't handle it, that's
Right?
That I don't understand, but I definitely want to play it. I want to actually get into it because that was San Andreas, right?
yeah, that's the one I was playing. But I think all the first three, not the first three, but you know what I mean, the ones where they went into 3D, like three, Vice City, and San Andreas. I think they all came out recently with remakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I played San Andreas the most, so out of all those, like back in the day.
I think I only beat San Andreas and
Oh,
I
Vice
only
City.
beat I only beat three. I loved three. If you guys remember from the video game episode, I think I had that at number 3 or 4. I played that game so much, and that was the only one I beat. Because then when Vice City came out, I liked Vice City, but like there was like little tweaks here and there. They did like the controls, and it sounds stupid, nitpicky, but it was enough to be like, I don't like this as much. And like I kind of didn't get into it as much. And then I got San Andreas, was kind of the same thing. I played a little bit, but I never got as into it as I did for three.
I understand that feeling completely because that's what happened with Assassin's Creed for me. Like after
mm,
a while, they like tweaked the controls like even just a little bit, and I was like, this is weird to play. Like it doesn't feel the same.
You get so used to a certain thing, like this button does this, and so when they change it around, it's like, all right. I mean, you can get
Yeah,
used to it eventually, but it's still annoying.
I made it to Black Flag, I think, in Assassin's Creed, and I was like, these games are all the same.
Black Flag
I
was
don't think I've ever
awesome.
played a Gas Assassin's Creed, to be honest with you.
Like the first couple were like super unique because of how different the game were, and like the slow assassinations and jumping from building to building, and then it was like, oh, the second one's the same thing. Oh, the third one's the same thing. Oh, this one's the same thing. It's like, okay, it's just a little bit better graphics and the story's a little different.
Yeah, I like Black Flag because you can like have like pirate ship fights, which I thought was kind of dope. But I hated that you had to like create a team in order to beat certain missions and then like rank them up. I don't know. It kind of just took away from the overall
I didn't even
gameplay.
get that far in the game to know that, so I got it for free because I think Bernie back in the day he ordered one and got two by accident. And he's like, "You want it?" And I was like, "Sure." And like I said, I played it for maybe a couple hours, and I'm like, "Okay, this is the same thing." I'm
That's awesome.
Yeah, but with all that, it was Disney Plus Day the other day, so that's
Mm.
where a lot of these announcements were being announced, obviously. But one of the things I don't know, I mean, I've seen it, but Shang-Chi is finally available on Disney Plus, and so is Jungle Cruise, which I was watching, and to be honest, I fell asleep. We had a late night last night, so um,
Oh, and how about Home Sweet Home Alone? I heard you
uh,
love that. You gonna do a review on that?
I
oh,
heard
that
that was
shit
your
was
best.
so bad. That Home Alone movie, because I heard you guys talking about it last night, and I was like, you know what? Let me put that on for Banks, and I'm like, this is this is terrible.
I thought it
Like,
right from the trailer. I'm like, ugh. First of all, the kid has a British accent. I'm gonna hate that right from the get go. Sorry,
I
no
was at
offense to Matt Boss or anything, but
I was at DoorDash and I missed the entire conversation. And all of a sudden, I came back to our group message. I was like, "Yo, Rob's big mad at this movie."
it just didn't. It
he
just
hates it
did.
almost as much as Madison and the crew.
Oh my God, Madison! I think it's
Madison probably started it.
at least Madison and the crew were brave. Like this whole movie, it just without spoiling anything for those who actually care, it it didn't make sense. Like the first two original, right? The robbers, the house is empty. They're trying to rob the house because they're bad guys, right? The
Well, don't give
second,
away too much because as bad as it sounds, I'm probably still gonna watch it at some point.
well, no, I'm not going to spoil it, but the first two, okay, this is in the same timeline. The first two, it was bad guys doing bad things, right?
Mhm.
This one, without spoiling it, is good people trying to do a good thing in a not so good way with a big, big, big misunderstanding.
Yeah, that sounds stupid because then you don't
My brain just shut
feel
down
bad
while
for them
you
when
were
they're getting
talking.
messed up.
Exactly. And the whole time I was so sympathetic toward the people who were getting messed up because I'm like, this whole situation could have been dealt with just a normal conversation, but the brat kid just wouldn't listen and he was a dick.
That's funny.
All right.
Yeah. And the whole time I'm like, this kid is a fucking dick. And these people are just trying to help their family. Like, what the fuck? It was, yeah, just. But, anyways,
I
is there
might
any
check it out.
is there any other news things that you want to talk about? I mean, we talked about the WWE releases last week. I mean, I guess we could say Bronson Reed made his appearance at the New Japan show this week or
Yep.
yesterday. That was cool. They just announced another AEW show in Jersey on January 5th, so that's cool. Maybe we'll be at that. Who knows? Andy's trying to get booked on that show. I know that for sure.
Real quick, something I noticed about the New Japan show last night too was I never know the correct way to pronounce. I don't know if it's Ishii or Ishii,
I've
but
heard it two ways.
he's like
Yeah.
one of my favorite New Japan guys, and he beat Jay White for the never open weight title last night in the
Oh
main event.
shit!
And he's
Oh,
scheduled to be on Dynamite on Wednesday. I don't know if you guys saw that last night.
And with Orange Cassidy, right?
In Orange Cassidy against I forget who they're wrestling actually.
By Butcher and the Blade, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
that's good.
Which
the
that feud
Forbidden
needs
Door.
to end. I mean, I don't know Orange
Yeah.
Cassidy against the Hardy family. Come on, guys. That's been going on. I know you like long term storytelling, but the
There's no
story needs to be
story
close.
there. There's no story there.
Long term for sure.
You would think that after after the whole hair versus hair thing, that didn't go over. And then it just kind of just continues. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
ugh. All right. So let's see. I guess we could start running through the pay-per-view then.
Let's get into it.
All right. So last night in the Target Center, I believe we had a 10 card match. Oh no, this was Target Center. All right, so this was a 10 match card with a pre-show, and the pre-show match was Sheeta and Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter and Nyla Rose. This was a 2-on-2 tag match with people who don't normally tag together. It went 12 minutes and 32 seconds, and Sheeta and Thunder Rosa went over. Anything you guys want to say about this match?
Not really. There wasn't really any story to this match. This was just a hey, you guys can have a match. So
Isn't this all the people that are still in the TBS tournament?
Yes. I didn't think of that, but yeah, I think so.
And then it was
I know Jamie
Cargill
Hayter.
and sorry.
I know Jamie Hayter is still in it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of them are.
And then it's Cargill.
Some people got
and
buys. That's why it got kind of
Ruiz.
confusing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cargill got a buy. And she's facing Red Velvet. Yeah.
Got it. All right. So to the main card. So let's just be honest here. Last night we had about 10 people over my house and we were watching it. So some of the matches we might not have the full recap for, but enough to talk about. If that makes sense. I think we can get by this. I think we can get by this. So the first match on the card, on the main card, was MJF versus Darby Allen. This match was 22 minutes and 6 seconds. Want to talk about it?
I thought it was pretty good.
Me too.
Yeah, I thought this was a good match to open with. Two of your big up and coming young stars, and a pretty good story going into it. That kind of was the story going into this match. Was like MJF came out and did a promo talking about how like there's like 4 pillars of AEW, like the young up and coming guys. It's him, it's Darby, it's Sammy Guevara,
And
and
Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy, yeah. And MJF was talking about how he already beat Jungle Boy, he already beat Sammy, and he was like Darby, whatever. Like he kind of blew him off, and then Darby came out, and they kind of went from there. But yeah, I like this match, and I feel like this was like a classic pro wrestling match. The heel cheated to win.
Yep.
What they're supposed to do, and I don't think it really hurts Darby because he cheated. So I'm sure this isn't over.
It was good. I think like it was very. Again, I was saying this last night. Is I think I don't give MJF enough credit in ring because he's definitely known for his, promo work. But this match was fast paced. Again, it had a lot of moments of like fast pace and Darby doing all the jumps and stuff like he normally does. And then also like MJF slowed it down, got the heel heat, kind of stuff like that. Um, the Canadian Destroyer, that was wild when Darby did the coffin drop off the corner and hit to the side of the apron, the hardest part of the ring, obviously. And then then what MJF brought in the skateboard and he got on his knees and he rolled the skateboard to Darby and he was like, hit me, trying to get disqualified. So then at that point, the referee, Darby's like, no, the referee wants to go pull the skateboard out. Then all of a sudden, you see MJF pull his ring out of his tights, punch Darby with the ring, and then that was the cheating 1, 2, 3.
I'm not gonna lie, through that entire match, the greatest thing was watching our boy flip out that Darby did that jump onto MJF. I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
let's see the replay.
he kept going. Oh, did you see that?
Suicide dive. I mean, Darby's suicide dive is really good. Don't get me wrong; he does it better than anybody else in the business, in my opinion. But
Yeah, but this, I would say, like, in my opinion, this is like maybe top 3. Could be top 2 matches of the night.
yeah, I would agree. And just real quick to go back to what you're saying about MJF, how like maybe some people don't give him the credit for his in ring because maybe he doesn't do as many flashy moves and stuff. But that all goes into his character. Like we were talking about last night, how MJF, like he's really true to his character, never breaks character. He's always in kayfabe mode with a heel, and his in ring style goes in with that because like a lot of some heels don't understand that they're heels, but then they still go in like the Young Bucks, for example, we'll talk about later, but they still do all the flips and all the ooh and all that stuff, and like it's harder to get heat when you're doing like cool moves like that. Like part of the in ring thing is like, oh, this guy doesn't do anything cool, fuck him, he sucks.
Yeah.
So like the MJF plays into that perfectly.
All right. So the next match was the Lucha Bros versus FTR. This was only for the AEW World Championships. The FTR is the AAA Tag Team Champions right now. So this match went 18 minutes and 36 seconds. So this match to me was really solid all the way through. Again, these two tag teams are, really good in the first place. But then the ending just didn't really make sense to me, and it ended pretty abruptly. And we can go into the match, but like FTR get out of the ring, put the luchador masks on their head that they wore when they won the AAA belts. They came in, they got hit with the Lucha Brothers finisher, and then it was over. It was like very abrupt.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I'm not sure what they were trying to do with the ending. Now, granted, as you said, we had a bunch of people over watching the pay-per-view, talking loud. We couldn't really hear the commentary. If we heard commentary, maybe we'd have understood better. But I think what they were trying to go for was Cash was put the mask on because he wasn't the legal man, and he was trying to show that he was. So when they pinned him, he was like, "Oh, I wasn't the legal man, though." I I think that's what they were going for. But yeah, it was confusing and it was kind of overbooked in my opinion.
Yeah.
And like these two, it was a good match, and I agree these are two of the best tag teams in the world. But I also think it's a little bit of a styles clash because like FTR is all like technical wrestling and classic tag team, cut the ring in half, no flips, just fists, and Lucha Brothers are like luchadors.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a little bit of a styles clash there.
Well, you've seen FTR work matches like that, like in the past too, on where they've kind of like matched their styles, so to speak.
Yep.
Very true. Anything on the match, Andy?
I mean, besides loving both teams, I thought it was awesome. I thought the mask was a callback to them because that isn't that how they won the tag titles?
Yeah, the AAA.
Yeah, I thought it was them trying to like rub it in their face, but again, like Brent said, it was loud and we kind of couldn't hear commentary.
Well, another thing I thought was weird was that earlier on Dynamite a couple weeks ago, FTR beat the Lucha Brothers for the AAA tag titles, and then this match was for the AEW tag titles. And I thought it was going to be like title for title, winner take all, and that the Lucha Brothers would get them back. But the fact that it wasn't, and the way the match ended, makes me think this is another one that might not be over. I think we might be revisiting this soon. So
I could see that them doing like a not even but like you said, a title for title and like a ladder match or something.
Yeah, maybe they'll do another match in AAA even.
True.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
All right, so the next match we had is the AEW Championship Eliminator Tournament Final, which is Bryan Danielson versus Miro. Here's the story about this before we go into the thing. I mean, it seemed pretty obvious
Somebody just
that
crack a beer? Oh, hell yeah.
Energy, I need it.
My bad.
It seemed like this was supposed to be Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley, but Jon Moxley had he put himself into an alcoholic rehab facility. So Miro got put in and faced Orange Cassidy, which then created this match. The promos, even though this match was pretty, I guess last minute, they kind of threw it together last minute. Miro's promo has been really good. He keeps saying like he has to win the match to get a shot at the champion because he needs to win his belt to get his wife back. And he made made a comment saying, "I'm gonna make you lose your wife while I get my wife back," to Daniel Bryan.
So, Rob, I heard you saying that last night. And where did he make these comments? Because I don't remember hearing him say this. Did he say it on a promo on TV, or was it?
I believe it was on Dynamite. Yeah, on
I might
Wednesday.
have just missed the promo then.
Yeah.
But like sometimes, I know that people have been praising Miro's promos and all the God stuff, but sometimes I think they're kind of weird. I don't really know what he's saying sometimes. So like,
he's just like, my God, my God, my God.
Yeah, it's like he's threatening God. Like, you better make me win or I'll kill you or something.
Yeah.
What is that?
So going into this match, I think we all kind of figured that this match was going to be a hard-hitting match between these two. These two have so much talent, and again, they've met in WWE, but this is kind of like free reign.
So about that though, I could totally be wrong, but I don't remember them ever actually having a match in WWE. I know Brian said in a promo coming up, like, "Oh, I've never beat him," and I might have missed it, or maybe they had mad matches on like house shows, but I don't really remember that. They definitely never had like a pay-per-view match or like a feud or anything. Maybe they had a random match on Raw somewhere here.
I mean, it could have been that weird timing that he was like when he first came up, he was in NXT or Miro, and then Daniel Bryan retired, and then Miro was gone before Daniel Bryan came back, or on a different show.
Also, in those early days of NXT, they used to have like main roster guys go down and do a match with like an NXT guy. So that could have been maybe.
And wasn't he undefeated for like his first year?
Yeah.
So I had to look that up because that piqued my interest too. But no, Daniel Bryan took on, or should I say Bryan Danielson took on Miro on SmackDown in the Money in the Bank qualifying match.
Oh, really? I do not remember that. What year was that?
Want to say 2018.
Who won?
Well, I'm guessing Miro won, or Rusev at the time. because Brian said he had never beat him.
Mm.
SmackDown Live, May 8th, 2018.
Okay. And who won?
Miro.
Wow.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So into the match. This match was 20 minutes and 6 seconds. This match was as hard hitting as we would expect it to be. These two were beating the shit out of each other. Again, it was like Bryan's speed and technical versus like Rusev's power, and just seeing like the hard hitting stuff. Like this match lived up to the expectations. And I like how Bryan Danielson's kind of his thing right now is you never know what he's gonna finish the match with. So he's kind of almost like Walter because you like he changes his finish each match. So
That's a match I'd love to see right there.
yeah, so Bryan
Daniel Bryan versus
Danielson
Walter.
Yes.
ended up going over on Miro by a technical submission. He basically choked him out.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. He hit him with like a tornado DDT, and then he kind of lost the grip on it a little bit, and then turned into like a guillotine, sort of like. But yeah, it was. But the match was great. Though. That was probably my favorite one of the night. I agree. It was hard hitting. I love. This is another one that maybe on paper you would think maybe it's kind of a styles class because Brian's like the technical wrestler and the Bulgarian brute with the brute force and stuff. But they had really good chemistry together. I thought actually, and good hard hitting match. And Bryan went over, which because this was a match to get a title shot, you thought that this would maybe give you a clue who was going to win the main event later, but we can talk about that when we get there.
Yeah. I thought Miro was going to take it because I had like an idea who I thought was going to win the main event, and I thought that would make more sense. But it makes sense for both.
I actually think maybe Miro winning would have made more sense only because he was fresher because he didn't have to compete in the first round because of what happened with Moxley.
True.
So I feel like they could have did a story where like Bryan was worn down because he had to go through an extra opponent or whatever, but that's not what they went with. So we'll see.
Yeah. Because I mean, Bryan Danielson can have the I just want to beat you up. I just want to be the best. And then Miro is I'm trying to get I'm trying to get a title so I can see my wife.
Yeah.
Like pretty base storylines, but they would work.
Not a very good wife if she won't talk to you if you're not a champion.
That's true. Gold
Man,
digger.
you got to be a champion.
That's like I remember they did a storyline like that back in the day in ECW with Francine, where like she wouldn't bang Just Incredible because he didn't have the belt.
Before you move forward, another thing which was awesome yesterday was the what was it 16th year since Eddie Guerrero passed, and the Lucha Brothers in the tag match did a lot of tributes to Eddie and a lot of guys throughout the pay-per-view, which I thought was really awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll see some more of them later on too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so the next match number 5 out of 10, was Christian Cage and Jurassic Express versus the Super Click, which is Adam Cole and the Young Bucks. It was a Falls Count Anywhere match, 22 minutes and 35 seconds. This match was a big hot mess, but it was fun. There was a lot of, obviously, flips and shit, but then there was one point that Christian Cage ends up going to the crowd, climbing up on one of the rafter things and just like jumping off. That was cool. The whole ending sequence with Adam Cole going through the table, and then you just see they did a close up of Jungle Boy's face, and he just goes, "Oh shit!" So, like, even the wrestlers were pretty impressed by it. Christian Cage got the shit beat out of him this whole match. Like, he was in and out of this match the whole time. It seemed like Jungle Boy was the main focus, but Luchasaurus got a lot of the focus too. I think Luchasaurus came out of this looking really good. The Bucks, obviously, they put on a good match. Adam Cole put on a good match. They got the good, heel heat with that stuff. But overall, I thought this was a really good match. Jungle Boy ended up pinning, I believe, Matt Jackson for the win on the ramp.
No, I think it was Adam Cole.
Oh, was it?
Didn't they give Cole the concerto? Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel.
No,
You know what?
it
You
was-
might be right. Okay, yeah. You know what though? Now that I think of it, though, you're right. But it should have been Cole because
Yeah.
that was really what sparked this whole thing was Jungle Boy and Cole kind of feuding. But maybe they want to keep going with that, so maybe that's why they didn't want to have Jungle Boy pin Cole yet. Maybe they want that to happen in a one-on-one match. That's
Yeah.
one thing I noticed about this pay-per-view. Pay-per-views usually blow off feuds, especially with like AEW, like compared to WWE, because they don't have as many. But I didn't feel like a lot of these feuds were blow-offs. I feel like a lot of them are going to keep going still. And I feel like this is one of them. Maybe not the group, but it's not over between Jungle Boy and Adam Cole, I don't think.
Agreed. Because MJF and Darby, I don't think is over. Lucha
Yeah, I don't
Bros
think
and
so.
FTR is not over.
I don't
Brian
think so
Danielson
either.
and Miro could be over.
That one's probably over, but that was also wasn't really a feud. That was a tournament final. So
Yeah. And then I agree. I don't think this one's over.
I agree.
And if you notice, one key thing was I think this is another reason why I thought it was Cole at first was because Kristen was about to give the concerto, and Jungle Boy stopped and was like, "No, let me do it."
Oh, yep.
Kristen was like, "Oh, here you go," and he handed him the chair. That was kind of like a cool little passing of the torch kind of thing. So
Even Christian, with his like ladder experience, like that was cool. They did some like ladder spots with Christian. Yeah.
What did you say, Andy? Sorry, I couldn't hear you because you guys kind of talking.
Oh no, I said Matt died on the concerto.
Oh, he died so that Jungle Boy could live.
Yeah, pretty much. But even the thumbtacks and the boots.
Oh yeah, dude.
It was crazy.
Oof. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah,
too.
they
Just so
put.
that-
I hate when they do that. When they put the thumbtacks in the guy's mouth, that makes me so nervous.
So
I
Adam
know they probably
Cole.
don't really have thumbtacks on them, but still. I don't know.
So Adam Cole had Jungle Boy in like what, a chicken, like almost like a half Nelson.
Camel clutch.
Yeah, camel clutch. The Young Bucks threw thumbtacks in his mouth, and then they both super kicked him on each side of his face. Pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah, exactly. So this next match, I agree. This match, this is not over. This feud is not over in any sense of the shape, form, whatever. And this match was only thrown together on Wednesday. It was Cody Rhodes and Pac versus Malachi Black and Andrade. In a tag team match, this went 16:52, a little bit longer than it probably should have gone. The highlights of Cody Rhodes is not over. The crowd hates him. Pac came out looking like a star. They need to start pushing him as an individual, like a solo act, and like really get him in a title scene. But Black and Andrade still doesn't make sense to me as a tag team. And this match was just there. I mean, I wouldn't say it was bad. I wouldn't say it was good, but it was just kind of there.
Yeah,
That was pretty good.
The match wasn't bad at all, but to Rob's point, it was kind of weird because the match itself was thrown together at the last minute, but it also is like a feud that's been going on. It's like two separate feuds that were going on for a long time, and they kind of like merged them together. It was like Pac and Andrade and Black and Cody.
That's true because each of those had 3 matches, right?
Yeah, and something just occurred to me. I wonder if they're going for like blood and guts or something, because at the end of this match afterwards, FTR came out, started beating up on Pac and Cody, and we already know they're involved. Well, they're not involved. They're kind of involved with Andrade. They're on the Pinnacle, obviously, but they also been like helping Andrade lately. So I wonder if they're gonna do a thing where like maybe it's those 4 guys and then Cody and Pac and the Lucha Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
That triangle.
Yeah.
That's true. So Pac ended up going over, I believe, on Andrade.
Yeah, he hit the black arrow
Yeah.
on, I think Andrade, yeah.
Yeah.
And then FDR jumped.
Again, wasn't a bad match in any sense. It was a good match. It just it didn't reign as especially after that crazy match with the Super Click. Like this match kind of didn't live up to that and Cody just gets booed out of the building at this point. So, all right.
Why do you guys think it is that the crowd hates Cody so much? Because it seems kind of sudden. Like, I mean, I'm not a huge Cody fan, but I don't like feel like, oh my god, he sucks so bad, I hate him, I want to boo him. So like, I don't. I'm just wondering what's sparking this. I think maybe it's just because the people like Black so much.
I
It's just
think
him.
Oh, they love Black.
he
Black,
also just comes off as like a superhero
kind of
trying like
douchey.
yeah, like he
Yeah,
tries
like
to come off.
Homelander.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Exactly. Like Homelander. And then the fact that he claims that he's not Hollywood, but then he has his own reality show and all this other stuff. And he's like, no, I'm for the people. But then he doesn't act like it because he's always like flashy cars and big entrances and giant crew. And that's like, he does a lot of heel things that he claims is not heelish.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think,
Be good
and
for
he's always
her.
like, I'm never going to turn heel. I'm never going to turn heel. And people are like,
I
all
think
right,
he
well,
is going
fuck
to
you.
turn heel, though. I think that's all part of it. Him saying that. I think it's kind of like a slow burn.
Yeah.
He's not stupid. He knows what's going on. So, or
Hogan
like
said he never would.
right, or he might try to do like a thing where not as goofy as this, but kind of in like almost like a Bo Dallas thing, where like he thinks he's the good guy. The character thinks he's the good guy, but he's really not. Everybody knows he's an asshole.
See, I looked at it like a Cena thing. Like Cena was always, I'm a good guy, even though the crowd hated him.
Yeah, it was always kind of split with Cena though, because like the women and kids liked him, but like with Cody, like he's not getting no. That's AEW's a little bit more of a smart audience overall than where WWE. It's more general, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Match number 7. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD champion versus Tay Conti. This was a singles match for the AEW Women's Championship. This match was 15 minutes and 24 seconds. I'm going to say I wasn't super focused on this match, but for what I saw in this moment, because I think this is when Daniel and Sebastian showed up, so I was a little distracted. Um, this is definitely Ty Conti's match of her career, her biggest match to date. You can see in the beginning of the match she was a little thrown off, like you could see her facials. But for 15 minutes, 24 seconds, at the end, I think um, it made Ty Conti like her stock rise pretty high after this match, even though she lost.
I think they had a great match. Like they told a great story, and just the entire match overall was great. And just like you said, like it was definitely big for her, going forward. Still chasing after the championship. And Britt Baker as the women's champion is awesome. She's done amazing things as champion. So
Yeah, I don't really have too much to add. Like you said, she seemed a little nervous at the beginning, but she definitely picked it up. It turned into a pretty good match by the end. The only little complaint I have, and it's the same complaint I had last time we talked about Britt Baker, is I think she tries to go a little too overboard at the end with like doing like 10 finishers. Like she had to hit the stomp twice, and then like she hits the stomp and then she has to go for her submission. Like, why don't you just try pinning somebody after the stomp? But I don't know if the stomp is even she because there's her finisher, but like I feel like that should be a finisher because it's pretty devastating. And I think she even might have hit it once on like the apron on Ty, and it's just like you guys are going overboard. But still, overall, I still enjoyed the match, and I like Ty. I think she has a lot of potential. I don't know if the story going into this match was that great, so I think they still need to do a better job of telling stories with the women. But the match itself, I enjoyed.
All right.
she had to weaken that jaw so she can lock it in.
Yup.
It's like Goldberg. He had to hit that spear before he hit the jackhammer.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like it's a little different when it's a submission. I feel like a submission is something that you should try to like put on and like in transition, like you catch someone with it. Not like I stomped your face, knocked you out, and now I'm gonna slap a submission on top of it. I guess maybe it works for a heel because it's like kind of added insult to injury, sort of. So I guess that works, but not just my personal preference. I don't know. I'd like it better if she at least attempted a pin after the stomp.
Agreed. All right. So next match was CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. This match was 11 minutes. Before the match even started, Eddie Kingston was able to get in his like, you know,
Spinning
back
back fist.
fist,
Spinning back fist.
and it kind of looked like he knocked out CM Punk. So, it kind of gave Eddie a little bit of heel heat, and kind of put over. He got a little advantage. This match, super hard hitting. Punk ended up bleeding. Uh, don't really know where it's coming from, though. We were discussing that of where it was coming from. You could tell that these two put in their all. It was only 11 minutes, but you could tell, like, by the end, you could see how much these two were winded. This was, like I said, hard hitting match. You could tell, like, both of them are really experienced, and you could tell that they were just like, fucking just hit me. And it took two go to sleeps from CM Punk to actually put down Eddie Kingston. And after the match, CM Punk tried to shake his hand, and he refused. And now it came out today that Eddie Kingston actually got a shoulder injury from this match, and he got pulled from some indie dates because of it.
Oh. They beat the shit out of each other, so I can definitely see how.
Well, okay, what's funny about this match is there were a couple of things that this one might have been one of the matches I guess maybe I wasn't paying as close attention because there were some things that I read today from it that I didn't realize. Like for one, apparently Punk like mocked Cena.
Oh yeah,
match. He did like the shoulder blocks and that whatever that thing Cena does. It sounded like a suplex, and then he acted like he was gonna do a 5-knuckle shuffle, and he ended up doing it. So I thought that was kind of weird. I guess after the in the post show scrum or whatever, he just said like, yeah, I just like fucking with people or something. and then after the match, apparently he did like a gesture, like the belt gesture, like he wants the title.
Okay.
So that's kind of interesting. We'll see. We don't know which title he's talking about exactly. Maybe he means the TNT title. Maybe he means the world title. But apparently he wants to be in the title picture. So
interesting.
The other thing I was going to say about this match, though, and so again, we kind of talked about with Cody, but like Punk you said that the beginning was trying to get some heel heat on Eddie, but it didn't really work because the crowd was more into Eddie for this match, and Punk was starting to get some boos actually.
Well, like we were discussing last night, he is to the point that every time he comes out to do a promo, he's like, "Are you guys not sick of me yet?"
Yeah, I think Punk wants to be a heel. I think he likes being a heel better, and I think that's why he says stuff like that. I think he's like, "Come on, guys, start booing me because I want to be a babyface." So I think we're going to see that pretty soon, and I'm all down for that because I feel like Punk's booking has been kind of boring so far. Like he hasn't really had much of a story. It's kind of just like I know he said beforehand, I want to work with the young guys, and like that's cool. When he gave that 5 list of guys you want to work with, I'm like, cool, but like let's see some stories with them, not just like having matches with them on Rampage.
Yeah, and he had new gear too. Punk did.
Yeah, they were more like MMA shorts, kind of.
Yeah, for like of his t-shirt logo.
Brent, I wonder if you're right. If he's doing the Jericho thing, like when Jericho came back, he just threw his hands up in the air. He's like, "Yeah, let's go, come on!" And he did it for once like 2 months straight. And then the fans were just kind of like they like turned on him instead. It's like
that's when he started doing. And that's when he started doing the like the Anton Churchill or whatever gimmick, right? Where he had the suit and
So
which like just real quick about Jericho, like that was the Jericho was like my favorite growing up. Like Y2J, I loved him and like how he was in WCW stuff. So when he started doing that gimmick, I was like, "What is this? This sucks. Go back to Y2J." And like I thought about it more, and I realized like, oh well, that's what he wants though, because he doesn't want people to like him, so he's doing something completely different. I was like, yeah, it's actually pretty smart. Yeah.
So speaking of Jericho, our next match was the Inner Circle, which is Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Sammy Cavara, Santana, and Ortiz, versus I guess Men of the Year, which is Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, and American Top Team, which is Junior Dos Santos, Andre Alskalf or
Andre
Arlovsky, and Dan Lambert. This was a Minnesota street fight. This match went 19 minutes and 52 seconds. This match, okay, to me, I rewatched this match today. It started out pretty clunky because they were trying to showcase the MMA fighters, and you could tell that they did not exactly know what they were doing, or they were nervous. They did this like whole scene of Junior, and he was like, getting the upper hand on Jericho, and you could see he was like laughing, and like he did a shooting star, like a standing shooting star, and like landed on his neck, and then he was like, "Oh, look at me," and like that was clunky. And then the Andre guy, he was being all clunky too. And so basically, in my opinion, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky did like 95% of the work for their team, and you could tell because every single big spot, it was one of those two guys.
Yeah, yeah. This I agree with everything you said, and like obviously I'm sure Orlovsky and Dos Santos have been practicing, but it's not the same when you have an actual match like this. And I know Dos Santos did have one match on Rampage, but Orlovsky, I'm pretty sure this is his first match. So that's like a lot of pressure to have a big pay-per-view match for your first match, even if it is a 10-man tag. So I'm sure that was part of the reason for the clunkiness. And this storyline, I haven't loved this storyline, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Lambert. I like some of the stuff he says. It's funny, but this is one that has felt dragged out. Like, it's gone on long enough. So hopefully this is the end of that one. I think it is, since the dinner circle went over.
Yeah, the inner circle, yep. But there were some cool spots like the Sammy Cavara off the ladder.
The
Yeah.
Jeff
Like-
Hardy Royal Rumble tribute.
Like that ladder was pretty high. Like watching it back, I'm like, oh, and you could see how nervous like Sammy was. Like he got up there and he like looked, and then he's like, all right, fucking just stand up. And then you could see he got like all excited for the crowd. And then there was a spot with Lambert and Jericho in the ring. Lambert was gonna do a lion salt. Oh no, Jericho was gonna do a lion salt, and then Santos messed up the spot. So like Jericho, you could see he was sitting there waiting, and then he got hit and fell back. And I'm like,
Oh,
ah,
yeah. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Jericho, I don't know, man. I know I was just saying how much I love him. If I was on the top 10 wrestlers episode, I probably would have had Jericho number one. But I don't know, man. It might be time to hang him up.
Never. That's Chris
like,
Jericho we're talking about.
I don't know, man. He can't go like he used to. He's got a gut. He's got some moves.
yeah.
I don't know, man.
I like the Eddie Guerrero tribute with the frog splash.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, like we said, we saw a few of those. Actually, I forgot. Nyla Rose did one too in that first match because Vicky Guerrero is her manager, so she did a little shout out to him too.
Yeah, because that's how the Inner Circle won. It was Jericho went up for the frog splash and pinned Dan Lambert.
I also, just a little bit of a sidebar, but like I don't get this tag team with Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. It seems so random,
They're the men
especially
of
because
the year.
like I know, but like the reason they became a tag team in the first place, like there was none. They just started teaming. Like, like Ethan Page, when he was at Impact, he was part of a tag team with Josh Alexander, and they had tagged for years before that in the Indies and stuff. And I felt like he wanted to go to AEW to kind of get like a singles push, and then they just throw him in another random tag team. I didn't really get the point of it. But
And that was right after Scorpio Sky left SCU too.
yeah, same thing. They acted like they were going to give him a big push. Like he was another guy that kind of, when AEW first started, that they singled out like, yeah, this is our guy, and they haven't really done nothing with him.
Yeah. So after this, so this match I thought was the worst match on the card, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that.
So after this match, Tony Schiavone goes to the stage and says, "We have a special announcement." The special announcement is that Jay Lethal, Mr. ROH, is now all elite. So he comes out, he does a promo saying like the forbidden door, and he said that there's a door that he wants to go through, and he wants a shot at the TNT title. Sammy Cavara comes out, accepts the championship title. So this Wednesday, Sammy Cavara versus Jay Lethal.
That should be a good match, I think.
Yeah, that'll be an awesome match, and happy for Jay Lethal. I'm a fan of his. Again, I think same thing I keep saying, like AEW keeps loading up that roster. You have to find time for all these people. And also, it's kind of weird that he said something about the Forbidden Door, because like technically he's not going through the Forbidden Door because he got out of his ROH contract and now he's signed with AEW, so he's just an AEW wrestler. So there's no Forbidden Door stuff going on, really.
Yeah. Maybe he just wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah. But but like, it's definitely cool. I'm sure there's a lot of good matches for him there. He's a really good worker, so. and it's good for him to get more exposure because I feel like Ring of Honor obviously has limited exposure. He had his run in Impact, but he never really got the push there that he deserved. Obviously, he had his famous interaction with Ric Flair, which was awesome.
The greatest moment in TV ever.
I honestly think he's gonna end up being like Bobby Fish and like a lot of these guys. Like they come in real fast, they have like a handful of matches get showcased, and then they start getting like their appearances start getting spread out. Like Daniel Garcia, he was in like every single show for like 3 weeks, big time matches, and now he's kind of like lessened. Even like 2.0, they were in the Sting match, and then now they're kind of like being used less. So I think it's more of like, hey, look who this is. We're going to showcase him. This guy is good. We'll bring him back later, but we just want to show you who he is real quick.
Yeah, I think they got a lot of people on their roster. So like, and granted, they have like what, three shows, three shows, 4 shows now.
Four if you count the YouTube shows.
You gotta spread them out. So like, they'll be here, they'll be there, they'll be here, they'll be there. But that's a lot of guys to get on a couple hours of TV every week.
But like you were saying yesterday, is that a lot of these guys, even if they're not getting used on TV, they could still work the indies and get their name out there and practice, and they can go to New Japan and Impact and like all these different like GCW and all these places. So it's not like they're stuck just like sitting and catering.
Well, there was some reports though that the Impact and AEW relationships kind of over. I don't know if it's like over, but I don't think there's any plans in the upcoming future for any crossover there. I think Tony said something like, "Oh, me and Scott have a good relationship." Scott D'Amore, who's the EVP, but like they don't really have anything planned. But I would like to see Jay do some stuff with Impact too, because like I said, he does have some history there. I think there's some good matchups for him there too. I think him and Rich Swann would be a cool match because they both have the same finishing move. That could be a little story there, like, "Hey, you stole my finisher." Or like him versus Moose would be cool. Moose, actually, I read an interview with him recently where he said like as soon as he heard about Ring of Honor, he went to Scott D'Amore and was like, "Sign Jay Lethal and the Briscoes like right now."
Wow.
Wow.
It didn't work out for him, but not for Jay anyway. But maybe he could still pop in there.
Well, speaking of the Impact thing, if you think about it, Christian was the Impact title champion. He lost it, and since then, the Good Brothers haven't been on AEW.
I've noticed that too. Yeah.
So.
Which I thought, I kind of almost didn't even count them as part of the thing because they're friends with Kenny and all them. Like, yeah, they're just letting them do whatever. But I have noticed that they haven't been on since then. So
yeah. All right. So at the main event, Mr. 5-star, 6-star, breaking the rating system, greatest wrestler of all time.
in Rob's mind.
Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page. This match went 25 minutes and 35 seconds. Again, this was at the end of the night. A lot of us were many drinks in. There was a lot of distractions. I need to personally go down and go rewatch this match from start to finish. I saw a lot of it, but I think I need to like sit down. I read some ratings. Everyone said this match like best match on the card. This or the MJF Darby match. They're saying like these are 1A 1B. I need to go watch and like legitimately rewatch this match.
I need to ask before we finish or get to the ending of this match. Mr. Ratings, Mr. Star, how are you feeling today about this match?
Oh, I think it's great.
How are you feeling mentally about
Perfect.
it? I know you were a little upset, a little distraught.
No, I predicted this match.
I
got
saw
buried.
from across the room. I saw a tear drop down from your eyes.
I know. And then I drank it.
You were smiling, a little
single
tear. So, you feeling okay?
Oh yeah, dude, I'm feeling great. This storyline to me, I know Sean was saying otherwise. This storyline was built from AEW's day one. This storyline started with the first All Out when they were doing the belt, and it was Hangman versus Jericho. And then the story after that is that he lost, like Hangman lost to Jericho, lost his confidence. Then he started drinking. Then he started like tearing his friendship apart with the Elite. Then he left the Elite. Then he went to the Dark. Or no. He started drinking. He tagged with Omega. They won the championships. They lost the championships. And then he went to the Dark Order. Then he was like, "No, I don't want to be your friends, but I do want to be your friends." And then he left to go, be a father and have his
But
kid.
he
And
also
then
had
he
that
came
weird
back.
thing with FTR where they kind of like manipulated them to think they were
Oh yeah,
friends.
that was like
That
two
was kind of what
weeks.
caused them to lose the belts. Because that played into like him like not being friends with the Bucks anymore too, because he ended up like kind of costing them a match because he was trying to help FTR. I guess I don't know. It was that part was kind of unclear, but
Yeah. So this story was probably the longest story so far in AEW history. And these guys know each other really well. This match was hard hitting all the way through. There was a lot of like Adam Page gave Omega a one wing angel. What? There was some interference with Don Callis, obviously, because fuck him. And
Don
toward the
Phallus.
end, the Bucks came out and didn't interfere.
Well,
Even gave the nod.
not only did they not interfere, yeah, that was the most interesting part about this match, and it was a very good match. I give Kenny his props.
Five
He did.
star Kenny.
um, and yeah, that part confused me, but like intrigued me. I definitely excited to see where they go with that because the Bucks they had an interaction with Hangman on Rampage. Where Hangman was like, I gotta tell you guys, I'm sorry, I cost you guys the tag titles, but you guys cost me a shot at the title, so we're even. So if you come out and lay a hand on me, I'll end you or something like that.
Yeah.
So they came out and everybody thought they were gonna interfere, but they didn't. And not only did they not interfere, they kind of when Kenny was going for the buckshot lariat, which is his finishing move, Matt kind of like looked at him and gave him like a nod, and I was like, "What is that?" Like, I don't really know what the significance of that is, and it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. But to your point, I think the right guy went over. This is a culmination of a very long story, like you said, with Hangman, and I think it's good for him to get a run with the title. He's kind of a homegrown guy there, and a lot of people thought he was going to win the first time when he faced Jericho, and they obviously went the other direction. And I think it was probably the right move
Yeah.
to build him up more because he's way more over now than he was
Oh
then.
yeah.
Even though
Cowboy shit.
I know Andy disagreed with that last night, but
I do. I still think he should have went over, but tomato, tomato.
Wait, versus Jericho?
Yeah.
See, I think it was the right move for Jericho because again, they're starting a new company. You put the title on a guy that people know, it gets more eyes on the product, and people going, "Wait, Jericho's a champion somewhere else." That's kind of how I looked at it.
We
well
could have.
that and it was able to tell the story with Hangman where he lost his confidence, he was down. That's like a good way to build up a babyface. You have him down, and then you build him back up.
True.
And
Very
so I
true.
feel
But
like
I
they
think
did a good job with
he
that.
could have. I think they could have had Jericho chase him.
Yeah, they could have. I mean, it
Screw him.
worked still, but I just think they did a better job with this way they did it.
It's funny after in the post scrum, Tony Khan actually said that he knew who the first four champions were going to be in AEW and the order that they were going to be in it. And there's a poster from All Out or All In, the first one or something like that, and the poster literally has Jericho, Moxley, Omega, and Page, and that is the order that they won the belts,
Oh,
and
That's interesting.
the four people that won it.
who was the fifth?
No, he just said he knew who the first he knew who he wanted the first four champions to be.
Oh, I don't know why I thought you said fifth. Five.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I think that this is going to be cool now. I mean, again, so Adam Page won, Buckshot Lariat, 1, 2, 3, great match. Again, I want to go back and give this true justice and actually watch it, like while fully paying attention. But now I think the possibilities are even cooler. So now you got Punk who wants to go after the title. So even if Punk goes after TNT, you either got Punk Sammy or Punk Page. Cool. Daniel Bryan just won it. So now you got a babyface over Page versus an over Danielson.
That'd
Cool.
be cool.
See, here's the thing though. So, like we said, we don't know what's going on with this thing with the Bucks with the nod. We talked about earlier how when we saw that Daniel Bryan won, my thought was kind of like, oh, maybe Kenny is actually going to retain that, even though I felt like the story was set up for Page to win. There is also a story still with Kenny and Bryan because they fought to a draw. So I was like, maybe Kenny's going to actually win. But like, this sounds crazy because they did all this work building him up as a babyface, but do they turn Page heel? Maybe the Bucks are actually aligned with him, and maybe it heel Hangman against Daniel Bryan. Because otherwise, if they keep Hangman babyface, then this is just a babyface like respect match, and they can still have a good match, but there's less heat there.
Well, they could turn Bryan heel.
Yeah, that could be too. But I feel like if Punk is going to turn heel, maybe that would be better. Obviously, we know Bryan's next in line he won this tournament, but maybe they do just have like a babyface respect match. Page retains, and then maybe Punk as a heel goes into a program with Hangman.
And then the reason why I think that Page, even though the whole Bucks thing is still babyface after the match, when Page won, the Dark Order came out. They gave him one big hug. They like did the championship raise. They raised him up and stuff like that. So I mean, again, it could be a slow burn, but now it opens the door that once that Bryan match is over, or they could do a thing that Kenny wants another shot at the title, so it's a Kenny versus Bryan for the number one contender spot.
I was kind of thinking that too, but that would kind of be weird to do to Bryan since he already won a tournament to get a title shot. To be like, well, never, well, you know what? Never mind. You got to fed Kenny first, like.
True.
But
Or they
could
have that match and have Kenny cost him.
Also, they've been talking about Okada a lot too.
Actually, that's a good point, Andy. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Rob, but that's a good point. They could have Kenny like cost Bryan the match against Hangman, and then they could go from there and continue their rivalry.
That's true. It's like who's the number one?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they have been mentioning Okada. Omega and Okada have history. I mean, they could
Is Okada the IWGP? No, Shingo is, right?
I think so. But Okada's in the States, and whenever the New Japan guys seem to come to the States, they always end up in AEW for at least a week. So,
well, they haven't had any of the top stars yet, though. Like we haven't seen Okada, we haven't seen Tanahashi, we haven't seen.
Well, they haven't been over here though.
Yeah, well, I think Tanahashi was here for one of the U.S. shows, and he didn't show up on Dynamite. They were teasing something with him and Moxley, but that ended up being Kojima instead. Yeah. Most of the New Japan guys that have shown up on AEW have been more like no disrespect, like legends, but more like mid card guys like Kojima and Suzuki. So, not to say it won't happen at some point, but we'll see.
But then, what didn't you just say that the guy who's coming over on Wednesday with Orange Cassidy just won the belt?
Well, he won the never open weight belt, which is like a
belt. It's still a champion.
Title. Yeah, I'm not like again. I'm not trying to disrespect. I love Ishii. Again, I don't know how to say his damn name, which Ishii. I think it's Ishii. But I love him. He's like one of my favorite guys in New Japan, and Suzuki. I love both of them. But I'm just saying they're not considered like the upper echelon star like Okada, Tanahashi, or Naito was the other guy.
Yeah. Also, I just remember something. Like you said, CM Punk did the belt thing, right? He could be talking about the U.S. belt because Kenta called Punk out.
That's right. I forgot about that. And I want to see that match because that's like the battle of the GTS because Punk stole it from Kenta.
Yeah. But that would, I mean, technically it is a championship and it would swerve, the audience thinking that he's going after the AEW championship, but it could be that because Kenta's already made an appearance.
Yep. Yeah, I'd be down for that.
I'd be down to watch that.
There's like this pay-per-view I thought was like really, really good overall. Like I said, I think the Jericho match was the weakest and then maybe the pre-show match, but overall, I think everything was great, solid. A lot of stories. Like you don't know where things are going after this. There's a lot of new kind of storylines coming up, new champions. But the difference between this and All Out is that All Out had Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan show up at the end. There was a big. It was like, oh my God, new people. This I think ended with a new champion, and I think it was good that it wasn't overshadowed by any like appearances. Besides, I mean Jay Lethal, but he didn't really he didn't, interrupt anything.
And it was after
Yeah,
the
because
match,
they
like built into the story already, so to speak.
yeah, well, because Lethal was like a when Cole and Bryan came out, that was like a surprise. I mean, we kind of knew, but like it was not announced. Jay Lethal wasn't announced either, but they did it in a more traditional way. Like, hey, we got a new superstar, Jay Lethal. They like Tony Schiavone bought him out as like an
Yeah.
official thing. It wasn't like a I'm just coming out to disrupt something. So yeah, I think it was good that they just like you said, ended the show with Hangman being victorious or whatever.
Yeah.
Let him get his moment.
Did you guys see any of the scrum or anything that came out of the scrum, anything like that?
I didn't watch any of that. Just like I said, I just heard that little thing that Punk said about fucking with people with the Cena stuff.
Some of the things from Khan that I saw, he said that he's paying for the medical bills for anyone who needs it. He said that Eddie Kingston had the injury. He said that Lance Archer was a shoulder injury also, not a concussion. People thought it was a concussion.
from that moonsault.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that
And
was
then
bad.
I guess someone asked him about, I guess his dad bought like a property or something in Saudi Arabia. So then he was like, we're not associated with Saudi Arabia. He just bought a property. It's not like a WWE thing, like how they have a relationship. They're talking about a streaming service and they're working on a library. And he said future plans for um, the TBS championship. And he wants to, I guess, get Bryan and Adam Page over as a big event, a big match.
Okay.
You're gonna hold that out for the next pay per view. That's still
I,
a while away.
I could
By
see it.
February, right?
Yeah.
Be a good build though.
But you got to think they got to still fill out the whole Bucks storyline, so that could take a couple of weeks. Do a whole week of him just like parading he won, so he doesn't have to be in a match. They could slow burn it,
Yeah.
and then again, you can also do Kenny and Bryan for a little bit, and then have that tease that he can interrupt, like you guys were saying, and cost him the belt. So I mean, it's like 8 weeks. Oh, he also said, I believe he said that he's keeping it to 4 pay-per-views a year.
That's good. We talked about that last time, where I like that having less pay per views because it makes them feel special
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than having one every month where it just starts to feel like an extra episode of TV.
So, yeah, I don't know if you guys have any final thoughts on the pay-per-view or anything like that.
um, I liked it overall. Being able to see different matches and different people work together, I think, was awesome. Seeing the people, pay their respect and show tribute to Eddie was awesome as well. Um, even though you say like you had matches where like you didn't like them or like they might have been like the worst on the card, even as that, like I thought they were pretty good. They had a lot of good stories behind them. Maybe not some build up, but within the match itself, which was awesome. It kept you entertained and whatnot. So I liked it.
Yeah, I think you guys pretty much said it all. I don't really have much to add. I mean, the AEW's pay per views are always pretty solid. They haven't really disappointed yet. The only thing I can think of on one of the pay per views that was a disappointment was the exploding ring match. That didn't work out too well. But other than that, they're pretty solid usually.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say like the pay-per-view is solid, and the one thing I like about the AEW pay-per-views is because we normally have people over my house, and there are people who don't follow the product or wrestling on a day or weekly basis. They're like, we had Joey over. He doesn't really follow it, but he was like what? And you could see someone who doesn't know any of the stories was still so entertained by it. Jerome, again, another guy, he was in the top 10 episode. He doesn't watch the week to week, but he always comes over for the pay per views because he even said he's like, I don't watch WWE anymore, but this is so much better. You had Daniel and his son come over again, not people who watch the week to week, and they come over and they're like, whoa, this is crazy. So the fact that AEW could still get that audience that they would not normally get, or even WWE doesn't even get these audience, and these people are like, whoa, I want to come to the next one. And even Daniel's like, I want to go to the New Jersey show. You know what I'm saying? So these are people who are not normal wrestling fans that enjoy AEW for what it is without knowing too much detail. And like you said before, Brent, is that a lot of AEW fans are smart fans. And these guys are not even smart fans and they're still
They're
enjoying
not
it.
really wrestling fans. They're very casual.
Yeah, and they're
It's always
still
fun
enjoying it.
It's always fun to see someone's reaction that's not as into it as we are, because we like live and breathe it, and like you said, Darby Allen, we see him do that every week, so it's not that big of a deal, even though like it's crazy the stuff he does. But like when you see somebody who doesn't see it all the time, like, oh shit, what did he just do? We kind of take it for granted almost sometimes.
Yeah.
Watching his reaction was hilarious. I love seeing that, because like that's the passion of every wrestling fan. Like that's how every wrestling fan wants to feel when they're watching it, to have that energy, that excitement, that enthusiasm. So watching that was it was funny because of who it was, but it was also awesome to see.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we probably have gone a little long on this one, so we can call it here if you guys want. Um, next week, episode 52. Next week marks our 1 year anniversary for the Disaster
We
Party
the one,
podcast.
Zeus.
We won. Crazy how. Well, we'll talk all about that next week. We're just gonna. I think me and Andy are just gonna kind of reminisce over the year. And
it'll be very interesting, to say the least. I'm still surprised we got this far.
Yeah. Well, one of the episodes.
I'll be listening, and I'll send you guys a birthday gift, maybe.
Yay! The one episode, though, we do have coming up very shortly, in about 4 weeks or less. We have our Office recap episode with Andy. And for those who don't know, I think I mentioned it last week. I think we're going to do like a board game or something, or a trivia game for Andy. And we're going to just ask him a bunch of questions and see how much he knows. And then just rip him apart if he doesn't know it.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and we'll have them answered immediately. For those who don't know, that's kindergarten count.
Hey, Andy, good luck paying for that on your $0 a year salary, babe.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He doesn't get it.
This is the one thing that I do better than anything. People, I take all. I'm butchering the line.
I'm gonna save up my shrewd bucks so that way I can put them in my wallet, so I can get an extra 5 minutes to go get some food.
Wait, but how many shrewd bucks equal a Stanley nickel?
10,000, 10 million, 10. I don't know. Don't remember. I don't even know if I got that far in that episode.
You tried.
That episode is now currently paused on my TV. Well,
he tried though. He tried.
I did.
False.
I did.
Black bear.
Bears eat Pete's.
Battlestar Galactica.
Michael!
Stop it! Stop it!
Identity theft is not a joke. But let's call it here. We're going to have fun with that episode. We're already laughing at it now. I'm sure we're going to have Shawnee D on that. And we're going to Andy's got a couple weeks to catch up.
Let's go.
Got your work cut out for you, man.
I hate it because I absolutely couldn't stand it and I didn't want to watch it. And now that I'm so far in, I'm like, I actually enjoy it. Like, I actually want to watch it now.
Yeah, it takes a while to get cooking, but once you get there, it's good.
You might actually, if you can actually finish it before the episode, I could see you finishing it and then maybe going back and rewatching season 1 and season 2 once you have the complete story, because it actually makes it better.
I don't know, because I couldn't stand Michael in season 1.
No, but it makes it better because you see like where he transitions into. So you have a
Gotcha.
little bit more sympathy for him in the beginning
Gotcha.
because you're like, oh, he's not really a douchebag.
Listen,
He's
just let her know. I'm gonna squeeze him and also give her the message. She'll know.
There you go. That was a reference. All right. So for the Disaster Party podcast, I'm Rob Stanio.
Oh, daddy, I'm Andy Bivians.
That is B Rent. Thanks for coming on again.
Of course. Anytime you guys need me, I'm a phone call away.
And
or a text away, whatever.
We are out. Bye. Bye.